Hello everyone, I am Nikita Jipkate. I'm a senior software engineer at Bloomberg London, and today I'm here to share my story. Right from being an isolated aspirant, then becoming a mentor, to working in the industry as a software engineer, then recently speaking at Open Source Summit, and some more things that are in pipeline. My journey from aspiration to realization started with Google Summer of Code. Open source unlocked many doors of opportunities for me, and the GSOC program clearly served its mission statement. It brought a new contributor like me to open source and gave me the right support and direction to get started with it. Hence, I owe a lot of my software engineering career to open source and GSOC. So, before Google Summer of Code, during my second year at college, I started contributing. First, I started familiarizing myself with version control. I learned the basics of Git and GitHub. Then I started exploring the code bases of some of the software projects that I used, like Eclipse IDE for Java development. This was just to understand how the whole development cycle works, right from raising bugs or requirements to getting them assigned and fixing the issues and raising pull requests to addressing reviews and releasing it and so on. I was curiously inspecting how the framework works and makes open collaboration possible. My experience while navigating these open source projects involved the feeling of being lost in those huge code bases. Even though there was well maintained documentation and guidelines, I still used to get overwhelmed with that excessive amount of information. However, somehow I progressed with the help of community's guidance and managed to make an initial contribution. I still remember how happy I was when I got that first green box on GitHub. Then I heard about GSOC program from a very old school friend and decided to participate. But the thing was, in my college, no one really was into open source or had ever participated in GSOC or any similar program. So I didn't had any seniors to just reach out to and get insights and tips. I had to find everything on my own. I remember I never used to have enough data on my cell phone plan to watch the video content, and the network issues in the hostel made me work very late at the night because that's when it would work a little better. And I had found some best bandwidth spots inside the hostel area. That was such an adventure. When I started preparing, first, I looked up the list of organizations that participated in the past, and further on, I decided that the project Easier Project Model Management from Sigma organization is an interesting idea. It is something I would like to work on, as the organization's vision attracted me, and the project aligned quite well with my technical skills and interests. Sigma is an information management software for international aid humanitarian projects, and the organization is merged into Tula Data now. The project was about adding some enhancements that had come up as the desired requirements from users to improve the flexibility and versatility of the software. Further, I joined the IRC channel and mailing list and started getting involved with the community. Next thing was setting up the development environment. It took some effort. Sigma is actually quite a huge application. Then I learned the technicalities, including the terminology used in the project and understanding the code base, etc. I got myself assigned some issues, couple of issues called low hanging fruits, which are basically the beginner level issues for new contributors. And then I started working on those. Simultaneously, during all this, I had drafted the project proposal and shared it early on. Yeah, I'm stressing this part because sharing the proposal early on helped me receive some feedback and I got to make some changes accordingly. Here's the screenshot of my proposal's first page. And finally, all this put together, I submitted the application and waited patiently for the results. Then, on the results day, I got accepted as the participant in the Google Summer of Code program for Sigma organization. It was an unbelievable feat. I became the first G Soccer from my college. Well, not actually. There was a whole 3 months work to happen. But on this day, I was so pumped up and extremely happy. Well, during Google Summer of Code, before anything else, I would mention the most pivotal thing was being paired with the mentor. It was truly a blessing. My mentor streamlined various things for me for the next few months of the program and played a key role in my contributions, because of which I realized how valuable and advantageous mentorship can be. Okay, so right after the results announcements, the program kicked off with community bonding period, where I got to know the community at some informal levels, and then we revisited the scope and the timeline of the project with my mentor. Then over the course of GSOC, I worked as per that plan, worked on some features, got the work reviewed, and shared the weekly updates. Writing those weekly updates was a great way to look back and see how far we have come and celebrate those milestones. And the progress used to cheer me up. So, overall, it was going good, mostly. But there were some difficulties as well. I remember how I used to have meetings very late in the evening as my mentor was from France and I was in India. I used to go to the internet cafe for uninterrupted internet access during meetings and had to take special permissions for the extended hostel in times. Yeah, girls' hostel back there still have these safety rules. There were multiple times when I was appreciated and supported, but parallel to that, there were moments of diffidence and exhaustion. I really had second thoughts when I used to get stuck, and it took hours of debugging and then leading to even more problems sometimes. But I'm glad I didn't give up. Thanks to the support and little doses of motivation from my family and friends, now, when I look back, I realize how all those difficulties made me learn something, made me stronger, and prepared me for harder and grander things in life. There were two evaluations, one in the mid and other at the end of the program, and I passed them. So after Google Summer of Code, well, first I enjoyed the fact that I actually made it. Then the following year, I mentored a student for the same Sigma organization and later did so for sisters and so on. I also mentor informally outside of the official programs because I believe mentoring is a critical element in diversifying the authorship and influence of open source technologies. I represented Sigma at GSOC Mentor Summit 2017 at Google headquarters in Silicon Valley, which was an incredible and sublime experience. I got to meet many people in person whom I knew just by usernames, made many new friends. The unconference format and the evening filled with music and chocolate marshmallows was all super, super fun. It was great to be there and share the sentiment of brighter future of open source with many others. Further, I did a few things in open source space. Some of them are I mentored students and contributors for other programs like Google Coding, Rails Girl Summer of Code, etc. Then I got involved as a mentor for the third edition of Learn IT Girl. And the next year, for fourth edition, I joined as part of the organizing team. I am a member of the Coursera's open source community, And in 2017, I received prestigious GHC and GHCI scholarships. And for the past 5 plus years, I have served on Grace Hopper Conference review committees for different tracks, including open source, software engineering, and student scholarship. I started working in industry as a software engineer. I started with Walmart and then later moved to Bloomberg. And recently at Open Source Summit Latin America 2022, I spoke about what makes a good mentor in open source. My open source and GSOC journey makes me feel powerful and limitless. Open source enables me to have a powerful impact on the causes I deeply care about, and the options are unlimited. I can choose to work with various organizations and projects and make a real difference, which might not be possible otherwise. GSOC was a crucial stepping stone that helped me get started with all this. And now, as a mentor, I can lend my support to future contributors and disruptors. So, the things that I have learned and would like to impart to potential contributors are: one, apart from the technical skills like programming language, tech stack, etc., knowing the purpose of the project or organization and feeling associated with the problem it is trying to solve will keep you motivated, and success will mean a whole different thing to you. Second is be patient. It initially feels overwhelming, but make the best use of the communities and pave your way. Open source communities are the best part of the open source culture. In fact, I always say this: the communities make open source what it is. Third is handle the feedback well. It is said that feedback is the breakfast of champions. So, most certainly, your mentor wants the best for you and the project. So, help your mentor to mentor you better. In a nutshell, I would say open source can accommodate everyone. You will definitely find a place for your technical and personal interests. Participate in GSOC. There's nothing to lose over here. I contributed to open source, and in turn, open source contributed immensely to my profile. So come along, join the bandwagon, and contribute. Thank you all. Thanks to Google open source team for this platform. Thank you.